This is The Extra Point, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast, sponsored by your Phoenix Suns.
Well, this is fun. In-studio guests here in The Extra Point, the podcast. I'm going to just call them the first family of Arizona hoops, the Howard family. A very rare get-together, so I'm very excited that I've been invited here. We'll start with Chuck, the patriarch here. You brought your boys in. They're playing basketball all over the world. Markus and Jordan here. What is it like to just have a little family outing here on the Extra Point podcast?
Well, before I start and say anything, the most important member of our family is not here right now. My wife and mother of these three boys know me, and I had to give her props because if it wasn't for her, well, I don't know what we'd be doing, guys. We'd probably be eating at the dollar store again, right? Oh, but no, it's a blessing to have the boys back. You know, going through the years of them training and playing the game of basketball and loving the game of basketball. Now to see them fulfilling their dreams of being played to pay, getting paid to play, is a blessing. And Desmond's over here on the side, and you know he's probably the most important part of their basketball training career is him as a shooting coach and skills coach. But as a big brother, you know, being the big brother that everybody.
He taught them everything they know, right?
Well, you know, he's a protector. He does it all, and he has two kids right now too. He has two young ones, so for him to be able to juggle and do all these different things, you know, I'm really proud of him and the man and the father he's become. But as a father, to see your three boys, you know, so connected. They're so connected, you know, and that's how you want as a father to see the boys. You know, it could be very competitive, right? You know, Markus having his career at Marquette and Jordan having his career at UCA and Desmond doing his career in a different path. It could be a lot. I mean, there could be jealousy. There could be all different kinds of things that could break a family apart. But honestly, because of our faith in God and our Christian foundation, these boys just love each other, and when we get together, it's just like it's party time again, you know. And every father has a vision of what they want it to be, and I'm just blessed to say it's been everything I've wanted it to be.
Well, it's so fun to just see. I mean, you can just see the look in your eyes, the smile on your face. How many days do you officially get together before you guys are back traveling around the globe and hooping once again?
Yeah. So this year is a little different, just because just Jordan being into the Olympics now. You know, obviously that time has been shortened. I'll let him kind of touch on it. But, you know, usually when our seasons end, we have about 2 months together, you know, from middle of June till about middle of August. So that's usually what we can always bank on each and every year, just with us playing in Europe. But this year has been a little different. Obviously, you know, Jordan, doing some amazing things, you know, with the Puerto Rican national team and them being able to, reach the Olympics. And you know, it's something that they haven't done in 20 years. So I mean, I'll let him touch on it. But yeah, we've had kind of a different summer this summer when it comes to all of us being together. It hasn't been as much, but we're happy for all that Jay's doing.
Is the whole family staying with you in your room in Paris? How's this gonna go?
Right. Yeah. I don't know how they're gonna house this many athletes, because I think it's 13 or 15,000 athletes. So wow. I know they have like the whole Olympic Village and stuff. So I've never been a part of something like that. I've been to the World Cup, which was a big event, but that we were able to. It was just basketball. This is every sport, you know, in the world. So, and every country. So it's gonna be amazing. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, so we had USA and Canada last night. You saw that and you thought, whoa, is the U.S. vulnerable here? And then they kind of threw the switch here. So as you approach the Olympic basketball tournament here, I mean, tell us about Team Puerto Rico. What the makeup is there? What the chances look like? Could you guys go literally shock the world?
Yeah, I think we can. You know, I think we've kind of done that throughout the process. You know, for us, it's a smaller island, so I think out of all the basketball teams, we by far have the least amount of people that are on that respected country. So for us, it's always been kind of an underdog story. So we have a great group of guys that's been together for a couple years now, and we have really great guard play, some good bigs. Pretty deep team, and so for us, it's just about playing together and being able to have the Olympic qualifier in Puerto Rico. It was amazing to be able to qualify for the Olympics in our home country. So it was special. And for us, we're going out there swinging, ready for it, ready to take on the Avengers and all the other teams. But it's exciting. I mean, it's what you dream about, and now that we're able to achieve that, it's special. First time in 20 years, or the last time was 20 years ago. Puerto Rico went. So,
what is it like watching? Let's just start with what's the Olympics going to be like watching it for the two of you? Because I mean, you playing, I would imagine there's still probably some nerves, but you can't do anything about it. So, are you living and dying with every possession here? How's it? What's it like? Are you going to watch it together?
oh boy.
Oh, I don't know if we'll watch it together, but I'll let Dad talk about it first.
It's better watching it at home in your own comfort than out in public, because you can kind of be you. And my wife says I have Tourette's when I watch them play. But yeah, it's like it's tough. You want to see every shot go in. You want to see every position held well. You want to see your boys do it well. But yeah, it's going to be exciting for us. It's going to be something for us to. It's going to be great memories. We're not going to actually go to Paris. We're going to stay home and watch it. But we'll be there for sure. In spirit, that's for sure.
That's so. I mean, I would imagine you have to stay up late to watch these guys a lot. How does that go?
Yeah, it floats, man. Like a lot of times it's earlier, because when they're in Spain, they're 8 hours ahead of us. So sometimes it'll be as early as 5 in the morning, or maybe 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock is the average time in the morning to watch them. So they're always ahead. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. We're gonna watch them no matter what. If it's 1 in the morning, 2, it doesn't matter.
Did you ever think your job would be to play basketball like all over the world? Take me back to being. What's the age difference here?
So I'm 25 and
28.
Jordan's 28.
All right, so going back to being 7 and 10, 8 and 11. If I would have told you this is your job, you would have told me what?
You're crazy, just because for us growing up, our dream was always the NBA, and to say now that we're playing basketball, on the other side of the world, I mean, it's a blessing in itself, but it's something that we never would have imagined. And personally, for me, I had instances of being able to play in different countries when I was about 14 through 16. I was able to play in different countries, and had the opportunity to do that. But never in my mind did I think like my job would be to be playing in those type of countries. Like I played in Spain when I was 16, 17 years old. And it's funny because I go back now, and this past year we played in places that I played when I was that age. So, but yeah, I pinch myself sometimes. So I'm like, at that point in time in my life, I never would have thought this is where my life would have turned. But, God has a plan for us, and it's been one that, we wouldn't have traded for anything.
And it seems like we were just watching you play against the Suns and playing for Denver. And I mean, just the whole journey. What has it been like? And what's sort of the long-term vision here for how long would you like to play professional basketball?
Yeah, and the thing is, that's changed a lot over time. I had a set number or a set age I wanted to stop playing at. But at the end of the day, this isn't my story. It's where God has placed me, and, wherever he, thinks and ends, the game for me, I mean, that's when it'll happen. But for me, I'm just enjoying it each and every day. I try to get out there and play, but yeah, just my journey has been one that has not been the prototypical journey. I've had a lot of different avenues I've gone to and gone through. So for me, it's been just one of those things that I've enjoyed. It hasn't been easy by any means at all, but as I've continued to get older, I've embraced and really been grateful for those times that really helped shape and harden me. And I think through the fire of it, I've really come out, and grown as a man and as a player. So I wouldn't, like I said before, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
How do you guys keep up with each other during the season? Like, and how many? Has there been an instance where you've? I mean, how many times have you played against each other? Like, what's that? What's
Twice.
that? Yeah,
Twice, yeah.
That's
So
it.
where
the
was?
first time was this year? Yeah.
That's this year.
How did that go? Tell me all about that.
It's crazy.
And were you
Yeah.
at what time of day was that?
Oh, it was in the morning. It was at 8 or 9 o'clock.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The first game was unbelievable. They went into double overtime.
Really?
You can touch on that, Jordan. You can
Jordan, you can
touch on
talk
that.
on that.
Well, I mean, you never want to. It's like it's a game you don't want to play. I remember,
Really?
especially the first one. The second one wasn't as bad because we
Yeah.
already had the first time. But
Yep.
the first time we played each other, it was like a day you wish you could just fast forward or skip because you
Yeah.
don't want to ever have to play against
Like
them.
personally, I never get nervous playing basketball, but that was the one game I was like, I had butterflies. I was nervous.
Because you knew you were going to hear about it for a long time.
No, it's just because you go into a game. I mean, I love him so much. It's like you want him to do well.
Yeah.
You want to win the game, obviously, but at the same time, I was like, either way, I'm fine. You know, if he does well and, you know, we don't win the game, oh, well, I'm just glad he did well. But at the same time, being able to be competitive and knowing this is our profession, but at the same time, like, that's your brother on the other side, it's hard to manage, you know. And I know a lot of people that have been in that similar situation are just like, oh, I just play normally. It's hard to. I mean, you can say that, but it's truly hard to. But when we got out there and we're playing, it was just like being in the backyard, you know. And you know, I got brought back to so many times of us just competing, like, you know, Desmond, Jordan, and myself. That's where I got the love for the game. You know, being the youngest brother and learning from those two guys ahead of me. I mean, they beat me up so much, but you know, like I said before, throughout my entire career, you know, I felt I've grown through, you know, tough times, and those two, you know, just being hard on me from the time I was little, you know, that's where it all started. So,
Jordan, was there like a move that he did in the game where you're like, God, why did I teach him that?
Oh yeah, like there was multiple moves. Like he caught me with a couple, and luckily he missed the shot. But I was like, oh damn. I was like, dang. Like, of course. So it's like I watch him more than I watch anybody play basketball.
Same.
So it's like you know, but he's so good that it's unstoppable. So
I always say Jordan's my favorite player, and it's true.
Yes,
you know, like, and there's nobody I keep up with more than his game. And you know, there's parts of me, like when we're playing against each other and he does something, it's not like dang, he made the shot. It's more of like, I'm more of like an awe, you know. So it's one of those things where we look back on it, and those are times that we'll always just remember. Like, it's something I'll never forget.
Yeah, for sure. Special.
And Jordan, for your basketball journey, so how many different? What's your passport look like? Like,
my journey has been crazy. Like, and kind of what Markus said is just, you know, God has blessed me with putting me through things that, you know, he knew that I would be able to overcome and be out on the other side that some other people may not have. So, like, through injuries, and, you know, I've torn my ACL, my meniscus, I've had ankle surgery. Wasn't really recruited that much in high school. Went to a lower Division I school, ended up playing well there, and then being able to go to summer league for NBA summer league, and then from there having another injury and having to travel all across the world. So I've been to Korea, I've been to France, Italy, Spain, Puerto Rico as well, and then being able to be a part of the national team has been special too. But you know, for me, my journey has just been crazy. You know, to be able to still play and still be here is special. And so, of course, it helps to have the support system of the family and to have everyone and to have that trust in God to know that he's going to put me in the position to continue to play and even throughout the injuries and throughout the things I've been through. So I'm just thankful to still be here and still play and still be able to be a part of it, you know.
Where's the most wild place that you've had a family dinner? Like, has there been like a meetup somewhere halfway across the world for a game or anything like that?
Man, no.
It's been hard because of the schedule. Oh yeah,
that was nuts.
Where's that?
Dollar store.
Oh yeah.
No, that's a
funny.
That's for a different story. But like meeting up, like, nah. I mean, I can't really think.
I think the trip to Korea was always for us. It was a memorable one.
That was really cool.
And seeing that culture, and then of course going to Spain and seeing, I mean, basketball has taken us all over the world, you know, and it's really interesting to see that, you know, the same sun that we see is the same sun you see in Spain, and nothing really changes in the day. You know, it comes and it goes. But what does change is how you handle things and how you view it, and we've always been a family of giving, and I think that's the most important thing that I think these guys understand is that in order to receive, you have to give, and they've given their time, their talents, and their abilities not for their own growth, but for the growth of others, and I think that's the one thing that we always want to just always put other people before ourselves. And when you do that, it just makes the world a better place. And it's good to be able to see them being out there doing that.
What's do people still smoke in arenas in Europe? Like, what's the
it's crazy.
craziest place
Europe is
you played?
Markus has probably played in the craziest places.
Like
my
firecrackers
goodness.
and stuff?
Oh, yeah, no,
Do
I've seen
you
it.
go, or are you like, I think I'm going to watch this one at
crazy.
home?
You have
Watch this one at home.
you have places like Greece is crazy. Like, we played in Greece, and We go in for halftime, we come back out, and it's just smoke everywhere, smoky fog. Just you would think it would have like a smoke machine or a fog machine, but it's just from people smoking cigarettes.
Wow.
We play in Serbia.
Any of the players?
I'm sure. I don't, not personally that I would know on my team, but I know for a fact I'm sure on other teams, yeah, definitely. But like in Serbia is by far the craziest place that I've ever played in. And you know, there's 2 teams that we play in Serbia, Red Star and Partizan, and you know, we play them in like a week span. So we play them one week and then we play them again the next week. And so you get to see both of those atmospheres, and they pack their arena, and it's, I want to say 20 to 25,000, and it's sold out.
Wow.
And we play them, and you know, the floor is shaking. You know, I remember dribbling one time up the court, and I hit a dead spot because the floor was actually shaking. You know, it's like, it's that type of atmosphere.
The ball
but
just stopped?
It stopped. You know, and it's one of those things where, you know, it can be intimidating for some players, but you know, those who truly love the game and you know, enjoy it, like those are the type of atmospheres like that you just love to be in, and they make the game that much more fun. You know, and I had such a good time just being able to be in those atmospheres and compete against not only the players on other teams, but you know, you feel like a whole country. So no, it's one of those things where you have to embrace it, and that's part of Europe, is just embracing where you're at.
Does so? How much do you think the game of basketball has grown, maybe since you left high school here in the Valley?
So much.
And how much? I mean, is there still room to grow? Like, is 20,000, 25,000 seat arenas all over Europe? Is that is that going to be common here, or is it common?
Yeah, I think the growth of Arizona in all aspects has been amazing. Like, this is a place where everybody kind of wants to come now to live, to play.
Even all over the world? Like, are you seeing it from basketball players all over the world?
I mean, well, from players that I know personally, whenever I say I'm from Arizona, everyone says they love Arizona. And even that when they're not from here, if they visit or if they played here, guys that have played here or played against schools here, they all say they love it. And so I think just it's been amazing to see the talent and the growth of the high schools, because when Desmond went to Perry, that's when Perry was first built, and now it's like a powerhouse school. You know, for basketball and other sports, it's one of the biggest schools in Arizona. And when we started to go to Perry, it was known as like the little brother school. You know, like nobody really respected Perry. It was more of like, oh, this is the new school. It was Basha, Hamilton, Chandler, and then Perry was like the new school. And so Desmond was like a big advocate in starting the basketball there, and then I came, and then this little guy came. And then now you see all the players that have came through and continue to play there, and now state championships and in all sports. So I think the growth has been amazing, and I think it'll continue for sure.
Is Perry a basketball school or a football school? What would Brock Purdy say about that?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It's a well-rounded school.
Well-rounded, for sure.
It's amazing.
Sure.
It's a very political correct position.
I mean, it's been cool to see.
I just think the body of work that's come out of Perry is very impressive.
Yeah,
you know,
for
a school that's so young.
And what about just Arizona basketball? You were talking about it, but just to see, you know, Cody Williams, Koa Pete's going to be there next year. Yedosa getting drafted by the Suns. I was just over there talking to him. I remember going to your gym, and he touched the top of the backboard in high school and was like, "Yeah, this guy's probably going to the NBA."
Right.
I mean, yet Deron Holmes getting drafted, you know, also in the first round. Rewind the clock 10 years. I mean, this is wild that all this talent's coming out of here. You train a lot of these guys. What have you seen?
I've seen more of a commitment to the overall procedure or the process of being a better athlete, whether it be training, nutrition, and just developing their skills at a younger age. And that's why I think you see more and more athletes from Arizona, because we have great training facilities, we have great coaching here. You see them progress and keeping up with, you know, a lot of these other states like Texas and California now, that people see Arizona as a basketball state.
It's awesome.
You know, and coming from Indiana, that's tough to say, you know, because Indiana is a basketball state. But I can really see it, the transition of, you know, the basketball world here. I mean, so many great athletes are coming out, and and more to come. There's more to come. You haven't seen some, but there's more to come for sure.
Now, when you guys get back to town, do you look forward to the training sessions? You're like, oh man, we got some work to do. What's it like walking into his gym?
Oh, like Dad will say it as well. Like that first week, you're hyped, you're excited. Once you get to that, like I'm in that I'm in that phase right now. Like once you get to the middle of the summer, you're like, man, you do the same thing every day. It's tough because he's killing you. But no, I mean, there's nothing better than being able to come home and work with the best that there is. You know, we're so fortunate that, you know, we're in a position to where this is our job. And when we come home, the people that we entrust, you know, getting us ready for the season are our dad and our brother. I mean, there's nobody better. You know, I've been around, and Jordan's been around some of the best, you know, players, coaches that there are. And personally, I mean, people might think that we're biased just because they're our family, but I personally believe that, you know, what my dad does, what our brother does in training us, like there's nobody better, you know, and they both have a vested interest not only in us, but in all their clients that they work with, you know, and when we're gone for 9-10 months out of the year and we're able to come home, like we're foaming, we're frothing at the mouth, just getting ready to go to work with them. So, you know, it's a lot of fun, and, you know, we just push each other, and to be able to spend time together, it's the best.
So, Jordan, take me through. Okay, so there's a 10-year-old, 11-year-old listening to this. What are the steps to become a professional basketball player? What do you need to do, and what do you how do you also make sure you get to be a kid as well and not just burn yourself out?
I think a lot of it is self-awareness. You know, you have to know what you really want, and if what you really want is that goal, is sacrifice. You know, and some people realize that, and some people don't want that, and that's okay. Maybe you want to do something else, but if you really want to be in that top 1%, to be D1 college player, professional athlete, you have to do the things that some people may not want to do, and you have to be committed to that consistently. And so I think for kids, it's easier to get distracted when you're younger, you know, but if you're able to grasp that commitment and be consistent with it, I think you can achieve what you really want to. And if you don't, then you have those lessons of, at least I tried, you know, at least I made that commitment. So I don't want to discourage anybody or scare anybody, but I think the best thing you can do is be self-aware, know what you really want, and then if that's what you really want, commit to it.
And there's so much pressure now to, you know, to kind of focus and play one sport. Like what did you do? Because you were a football player too, right?
Yes.
So were there any other sports growing up? How did you kind of, I guess, make sure you were well-rounded? I mean, anybody in the play? Anybody in the school play?
We're probably wearing a couple.
It's funny because, you know, we're in a very athletic family. So, I mean, we touched anything and we kind of picked it up very quickly. You know, Jordan's like a 10-talent child. Desmond was really good at football as well. You know, I dabbled in a little bit of everything, but I don't know what it was about basketball. We all just gravitated towards that. But
I mean, we moved out here in 2002, so Marcus was 3, Jordan was 6, Desmond was 8, and it was hot. So we weren't playing football.
Super hot.
We did some soccer, but that was a fall thing. So
you know, and we gravitated towards basketball. And you know, me, I always, growing up, it was tough just because they were so hard on me. But at the same time, I view it as, you know, the biggest blessing, you know, following these two, because when they were just all basketball, I was all basketball, you know, and, you know, just being able to focus on just that, I think, you know, paid dividends, you know, and mind you, like, it was unique just because once I was really into basketball, I didn't really care about anything else. Like, I wasn't really interested in trying to do other sports, you know, and I know in today's culture, it might be a little different. You know, a lot of people want to be multi-sport athletes, but personally for me, I think it was just one of those things where I had the bug. You know,
You knew what you wanted to do.
I knew what I wanted to do.
What was Desmond's best game? You guys get all the run. Does he have like is there any like game on VHS that somebody was recording?
Des,
Des,
go ahead.
come over here, man.
Let's
get Des in the let's get Des in the picture.
CEO.
Now here's your real entertainment.
The thing about Des was really like of course Dad was like the superhero, so we all looked up to Dad, but Desmond was like he still is, but when we were growing up, it was like Desmond's the coolest dude like ever. So whatever he did, we were doing. It was like little ducks. Des was the leader, and then I was following, and then little Marcus was in his diaper.
I was trailing.
So whatever Desmond did, it was what we were doing, and he was great at all the sports, but basketball was like the one we really loved.
What when you see these two guys doing what they're doing? I mean, the older brother. What's the level of? I mean, do you feel like mission accomplished here? Did you mold and shape them into exactly what you thought they would become today?
Yeah, and more. I think for me, it's just amazing to see where they're at as young men, and also for me in my business, how my clients look up to them. I think the example that they set is profound, and I think that they don't get enough credit for it. I think a lot of people just see what they do on the court, but the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they hold themselves, it's amazing. And I think it complements their game even more. A lot of people just worry about if the ball goes in the basket, but they're really getting something across that's different.
Yeah, your dad talked about the servant's heart here, and it's a polarized, it's kind of an angry world right now, and you guys are all over the world. So how have you taken that message out into the world as a ambassador for your family and an ambassador for Arizona?
I think for us, it's fairly easy just because of who we have to follow. I mean, I always speak from the perspective of being the youngest, so I learn and go off of what I see, and what I see is our two parents who have been selfless all our lives in providing for us. But then I have two brothers who always looked out and had their younger brother's best interest. And then I look at Desmond as the oldest as, just wanting us to, reap the benefits of what we're doing and always putting us first in terms of what we're doing. And then, Jordan just following his footsteps as a player, so I'm fortunate because I have so many just people to look up to. And personally, I think, I don't want to speak for Jordan, but I think we're not here without the selflessness of Desmond, but also our parents, and we truly, what we accomplish isn't just what people see on the court with just us. It's a team behind it, and that's what makes our family, I feel like, so special. We have a family that's just so close-knit, and, we're all on the same page. So for us, I just feel like, that servant's heart comes from just like our dad said from the beginning, our faith and the foundation that we have in that. So,
are there a lot of late night, early morning texts to these guys about like, hey, your shooting elbows popping out, or what's that? How's that all work?
I think it's more dramatic than people think. You know what I mean? I think people make it more than it is. It's just we have so much love for each other. It's like it's not even important. We do so much work in the off season that the work speaks for itself. And if anything, we just miss each other. We don't get to see each other as much. We don't get to spend as much time with each other. As you get older, time goes by faster, it seems. So I think, if anything, it's just not taking time for granted and making the most of it. And I'm just so proud of there's no entitlement with these boys. Like, they're there at 3:45 a.m. every morning with me.
Before Good Morning Arizona starts in Arizona's family.
We are.
What time are you there?
No. But in general, growing up, all we heard was pots and pans, 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, and that's all we know. So getting up and setting yourself apart is essential in my business, in our lives, and in our family. So for me, when I'm in the gym before my father is, when in reality, when I was growing up, he was waking me up, getting up to go work and do what I'm doing now, it's unbelievable because he set the standard, and now I'm trying to exceed expectations.
What was he cooking at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Three boys that you can't beat. That's what he was. But yeah, it's a blessing though, and we're unbelievably blessed to have our father in our life and our mother that just set an unbelievable example. Because, even me seeing all these different individuals, there's a lot of broken individuals. So knowing that we have a strong foundation and 2 individuals that can guide us, teach us, love us, and just be there for us when we need them is invaluable. So just those things are just more than basketball, and it's just something that we reflect on more than how many makes or how much did he average or what team is he playing for next. So it's a bigger picture.
So is your official title, like, for them, shooting coach, or how would you say, like, what's your job?
No, I think that's a great question, and a lot of people ask, are you a basketball trainer, or are you a I look at it as a big brother. That's all I've been to these boys, and that's all I know is how to be a big brother. So if it's a client, if it's a pro athlete, if it's someone overseas, I approach it as a big brother, with love, with care, with respect. But more than anything, we need to be professional. But yeah, I just look at it as a big brother. But yes, I train individuals, skill coach, player development, not specifically shooting, but I think a lot of people say that because of how good the boys shoot the ball. But that's a lot of them. I push them, but it's God-given.
What is the key when, like, if you're trying to teach someone how to shoot, like when you learned how to shoot, like what first time you shot a basketball, what did it look like, and how did you refine it to get where it is now? Chuck's over there smiling.
That's the one thing I would say. That's great. Yeah, because That is a good
It's crazy
question.
because you would think whenever someone sees us and they're like, "Oh, your family played sports, right? They were basketball players." We're like, "No, like dad was an amazing athlete, like
In one sport.
in football, but basketball, different story."
Is he not taking the training for shooting yet? Is he just lifting?
Which is crazy because it's like, how did we develop the skill set?
He's too strong to shoot. He's too strong to shoot.
We just loved it. We just loved the sport so much that we did it every day.
And some of the fondest memories are just summer, us three alone. It's hot, and all we're doing is playing in the backyard, 2-on-1, baskets low enough so we can dunk on.
Them two versus you.
Think of it as like if you get scored on, you have to stay on defense.
There we go.
I was on defense a lot.
He was on defense a lot. Frozen strawberries.
Oh my gosh.
So what's the all-time record? Like when did they?
Oh man.
When did they kind of get to where they are now? Like when was the last time you beat them handily? One-on-one.
It's funny because I never took it serious. So for me, it was I loved basketball to an extent, but I never loved it until I saw the potential in them. Honestly, I never took it serious. I never loved the game, but I love my brothers. And friends come and go, but families forever, and that's all we know. And as a big brother, it was my job to make sure that their gifts were maximized.
Did you see the potential in yourself, or did they have to bring it out?
I think there were spurts. I think Marcus was like the one that we were like, okay, because he kind of developed super early because we were playing a lot, and physically and like basketball wise. So I think he was the one that we were like, okay, he's about to be something different. And for me, it was like I feel like my development was more over time. I had to continue to work on it and continue to really just put my head down and work. And we all worked, but it was just different for me because physically it took me longer to grow like into my body. So I think our development was different. But
I think Jordan always had just skill. Like Jordan was like, from the time we were little, Jordan was just head and shoulders, skill-wise above everyone. So for me, I always was just watching. When I wasn't playing and I wasn't old enough to play, I would just watch. Anytime there was a timeout, I would shoot on the court. People would have to drag me off the court.
Goggles.
Oh man, I would. I mean, anytime I could just get a moment to shoot, I would do it. I always played up. I never played my age group.
Did that help, or was that
100%?
Yeah.
And that's what I would suggest to a lot of parents nowadays. Is you see a lot of kids getting reclassing and getting held back and things of that sort. Mind you, like I've been the same size since I was in 7th, 8th grade, so I haven't gotten tall or anything. But for me, the biggest help for me was always playing against people that were older than me. My toughest competition was always these two, and for me that was the biggest thing. And I think but also too, when I was 4 or 5 years old, I just knew this was what I wanted to do. Like there was nothing ever really that steered me in a different direction of, oh, I might want to be, a teacher or a doctor. Like, I mean, those are all great professions, but that's not what I was interested in. So I just think I was always very, very focused on just wanting to be the best basketball player I could be.
And then do you stay here and train and watch him in Paris?
Yeah.
How does this go? The three of y'all just going to be living and dying watching it on TV?
The thing is just when it comes to, like, even now, like, it's funny, working out this morning, like, there are times when Jordan will do a drill. I'm supposed to be doing my drill, but I'll stop to see what he's doing. And it's like I still kind of just am, in a way, I'm still like a little kid when I watch him play, because it's like I'm still that little brother that's like, okay, how's Jordan doing it? Like, I want to try and emulate it like that. So it's funny because even now, like, there's nobody I look up to more than these two. So, I mean, anything that they're doing, like, obviously, Jordan being on the biggest stage in the Olympics, like, we're going to be glued to the TV, and no one's going to be more vested in it than us. So, I mean, it's a time in our family right now where we're just so excited. We're so blessed that, he has this opportunity. But like my dad said earlier, we're going to be there in spirit, and we're excited just for the performance I know he's going to put on, just because, I've seen him every day. And, just the maturation and the growth that he's had over the years, I'm just excited because I know he's going to perform.
So what's the next chapter look like after Paris and after shocking the world there? Do you guys go back? Are there more games? Do we have, like, we probably need to get highlights of this on the Extra Point TV show. Maybe like a post-game Zoom. Is there another matchup scheduled here that we need to keep an eye on?
I don't, not particularly
soon,
right
no.
now. Yeah, we'll kind of know once I know where I'm going to go after Paris. I still haven't decided where I'm going to play yet, but yeah.
How does that whole process work? Like, I mean, the NBA's pretty, in America, you get drafted or you sign a free agent deal. Like,
it's the same thing in Europe. I mean, you usually sign a contract with a team, and like me, I have a contract with my team in Spain.
And that goes for a while, right?
It depends. It depends. So I mean, my contract's for. So I've been on this team for 2 years, and then I've signed for 4 more. So I'll be in the same spot. But
could you come back over here and play?
I could have the opportunity to.
Yeah.
You know,
because that's what we hope too. We hope to get both of you guys back here playing for the Suns.
I mean, hey, we'll see. It's in God's hands. We'll see. Yeah, from your mouth to God's ears. Yeah. So it just depends. It goes from player to player, but you know, Jordan obviously is in the free agent market, so he'll have some choices to make. But you know, I'll be back on the same team I was last year in Spain, so. That's kind of the next, you know, games that'll be for me. But you know, Jay has a lot of choices and decisions he has to make too coming up.
That's all. I mean, is that stressful? Is it fun? Is it
sure.
one day, one play at a time?
Yeah, it's stressful. I mean, it's a blessing, of course, but like each year, kind of not knowing exactly where you're gonna be can be stressful. So. It just has to depend. In Europe, it's different because you can't always find a spot that's perfect or a spot that you want to be for long term. So that's why for Markus, it's great. He's found a place where he wants to be and stay long term, and that's great. So you know where you're going each year. So for me, it's like every year, Dad knows. Every year it'll be like, all right, where are we going this year, or what's gonna be the plan? Yeah, or you get a call and say you got to leave tomorrow or something like that. So. For me, I'm just hopefully I know it'll be the right position. I'll make the right decision.
He's putting himself in good positions.
Well, yeah, I can't believe we didn't have highlights of this on our TV show. We got to go back and make sure that happens. Where's your favorite place to visit when you're not playing basketball? Like, where's everybody got to go on vacation?
It's a great question. I feel like we get to see so many places since we're already overseas a lot.
That's why you come back to Phoenix in the summer. Y'all are there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is home. I mean, this is home. Nothing
this
beats
feels
home.
like vacation because we get to actually be back,
breathe
for a little bit. But I don't know. There's so many beautiful places.
I would say my wife and I, one of our favorite places has been Mallorca because we're in Spain. We actually this year mid-season we had a mid-season break, and Jordan and his fiance we all met up and we had a little staycation there, which was fun. So Mallorca's an amazing spot. It's beautiful. But where we live as well is in northern Spain, and near northern Spain is France. And so there's a town there called Biarritz, and it's beautiful. It's right on the ocean. It's very quiet, very quaint. I don't know. That's a nice little getaway for my wife and I. We just like to get away, and because the season it gets hectic. So for us, I mean, those are the two spots I would say: Biarritz and then Mallorca.
Do you get over there at all on like work trips at all, or?
I don't. I'm here for a full year. I'm here.
Doing the work.
I'm in the trench.
Somebody's got to be the lead blocker, that's for sure. Hey, Chuck, why don't you just come back in? We'll wrap this thing up. I do want to know. You can jump on the mic here. How much does your grocery bill? And are you cooking stuff at 2 a.m. still? How's that?
No, that's my wife. No, don't get twisted. No, she's doing.
What
she's
about the
cleaning.
wings?
She's cooking.
You gotta talk about the wings.
But yeah, you know, I'm the chef of the grill, so I'm the grill master. But yeah, we like to eat, and we eat. Tomorrow we're having a special going away dinner for Jordan, so we have scallops on the wings. We got everything. So. It's always good to just, you know, be home and have everybody together, but the meals are always on point, and my wife is really good about that. So
and the box score is what, 3 grandkids? Is that how many we got?
Well, we have 3.
Yeah.
Kylo is our newest addition, and then Isabella and Isaiah, Desmond's children. So we have 3.
How's their jump shot if you check?
Isaiah's a hooper.
Is it? Yeah.
Isaiah's a hooper.
He loves
basketball. Kylo, we're still trying to figure out if he's right or left-handed.
Yeah.
He's only like,
fresh out.
like 2 weeks old.
He's 2 weeks old.
Left-handed put a baseball in his hand. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, hey, this has been super fun. It's been a blessing that y'all visited AZ Family, and it just really, really fun, watching this story unfold, and can't wait for the next chapter.
Thank you for having us.
We've been out here 21 years, so we are a part of the Arizona family.
Absolutely.
So we're an Arizona family.
The Extra Point Podcast is a production of 3TV, CBS 5, and azfamily.com in Phoenix, Arizona.